In the complex universe of relationships, recognizing when a woman is genuinely attracted to you can completely transform your love life. Are you tired of trying to decipher confusing signs or missing opportunities by not recognizing when a woman is interested? The truth is that women communicate their attraction in much deeper and consistent ways than most men can perceive. When you learn to identify these signals, it opens doors to authentic connections and prevents you from wasting your time and energy on one-sided situations. It's not just about increasing your chances of success in relationships, but also about developing emotional intelligence that will benefit all aspects of your life. The female brain operates fascinatingly when under the influence of attraction. When a woman develops an interest in a man, her body undergoes a true biochemical revolution. Dopamine, the hormone associated with pleasure and reward, is released in large quantities, creating a sense of euphoria and well-being in his presence. Simultaneously, serotonin levels decrease, leading to the characteristic obsession of the early stages of passion, when you can't get the person out of your head. This phenomenon is not just emotional, but fundamentally physical. Adrenaline increases, speeding up the heart rate and causing that characteristic nervousness. Pupils dilate, making the gaze more intense and bright. This true hormonal storm creates behaviors that, to an attentive observer, are impossible to hide. No matter how much a woman tries to disguise her interest, her body will invariably betray her through subtle yet unmistakable signs. One of the most revealing is a change in her voice. Pay attention the next time you're talking with a woman you suspect is interested in you. When we speak to someone we're attracted to, we instinctively modulate our voice to be more melodious and soft. This phenomenon, known as the attraction voice, is an unconscious adaptation to appear more attractive and welcoming. If you notice her voice becoming sweeter and more melodic when she talks to you, different from the tone she uses with others, you're witnessing a strong indicator of interest. This vocal change is even more noticeable when compared to how she communicates with friends or coworkers. Attracted women also tend to speak faster when they're near the person who attracts them, reflecting the excitement and nervousness they feel. This acceleration in speech is usually accompanied by a tendency to share more personal information than they normally would. If she starts revealing intimate aspects of her life, dreams, and aspirations that she doesn't easily share, she's literally opening up to you, building a bridge of intimacy. Another powerful verbal sign is when she asks specific questions about your life. We're not talking about generic questions like, "How was your day?" but ones that show she's genuinely paying attention to the details you share. If you casually mention you have an important presentation next week and days later she asks how the preparation went, she's clearly demonstrating that your words hold weight and importance for her. Women who are truly interested also tend to use your name more frequently during conversations. This conscious use of your name creates a sense of closeness and personal connection. It's a subtle way of verbally touching you, establishing a more intimate bond. If she constantly finds ways to insert your name into sentences, she's unconsciously signaling that you occupy a special place in her thoughts. Frequent compliments are another reliable thermometer of attraction. However, the type of compliment matters. When a woman isn't genuinely interested, her compliments tend to be generic and superficial. But when the attraction is genuine, the compliments become more specific and personal. Instead of saying, "You dress well," she might say, "That color highlights your eyes," or "Your style perfectly matches your personality." These detailed compliments reveal that she is truly observing you, catching nuances that would go unnoticed by someone without special interest. You should also pay attention to how she reacts to your stories and jokes. An attracted woman will find even your least elaborate jokes funny, not out of falseness, but because the chemical attraction positively amplifies her perception of you. Her brain literally processes your words differently, finding more humor and intelligence than it normally would. If she laughs enthusiastically at your jokes, even when others barely smile, she's revealing much more than just finding you funny. Additionally, observe how she behaves when you mention other women. A subtle reaction of discomfort, such as changing posture, briefly looking away, or changing the subject, may indicate jealousy. This feeling only arises when there is romantic interest involved. Jealousy is a primitive response to protect against potential rivals, and even the most controlled women will have difficulty completely disguising this reaction. However, as revealing as verbal signs may be, it's in body language that we find the most irrefutable evidence of attraction. The body communicates with an honesty that words sometimes cannot, and understanding this silent language is crucial to successfully navigating the world of relationships. Let's start with the most classic and universal sign: prolonged eye contact. Eyes are truly the windows to the soul. And when a woman maintains more intense and lasting eye contact with you than with others, she is unconsciously revealing her interest. This gaze is not only longer, but also deeper, as if she's trying to see beyond your physical appearance. Particularly revealing is the pattern known as the triangular gaze, where her eyes move from your left eye to your right eye and then to your mouth, forming an imaginary triangle. This specific eye movement indicates that she's thinking, even involuntarily, about how it would feel to kiss you. It's one of the most unmistakable signs of romantic attraction. But it's not just the fixed gaze you should observe. Equally significant is when she shyly averts her eyes upon being caught watching you. This seemingly contradictory behavior reveals an internal conflict between the desire to maintain eye contact and the nervousness caused by attraction. If you often notice her looking at you from a distance, but quickly looking away when your eyes meet, you can be sure that you're awakening intense feelings in her. Dilated pupils are another powerful indicator of interest. When we're attracted to someone, our pupils automatically expand, and this is a reflex that cannot be voluntarily controlled. If her eyes seem darker and brighter in your presence, it's not a coincidence, but pure chemistry in action. Moving. Below the face, observe her lips during your interactions. An attracted woman often moistens or lightly bites her lips when she's near you. This instinctive gesture has evolutionary roots, as redder and wetter lips are subconsciously associated with health and fertility. Additionally, she may smile more openly, showing her teeth, which indicates she's comfortable and happy in your company. Now, let's address one of the most well-known but often misinterpreted signs: playing with her hair. When a woman runs her fingers through her hair, tosses it to the side, or twirls a strand while talking to you, she's not just adjusting her hairstyle. This gesture has deep evolutionary roots as a way to draw attention to attractive physical features and spread pheromones, chemical substances that communicate sexual attraction on a subconscious level. The way she positions her body during interactions also reveals a lot. When we're truly interested in someone, we instinctively orient our bodies toward that person. If her feet, hips, and shoulders are turned toward you, even in a group conversation, it's a clear sign that you are the focus of her attention. This bodily alignment is an extremely reliable indicator of interest, as it's rarely consciously controlled. Equally revealing is mirroring, when she unconsciously imitates your gestures, facial expressions, and even the rhythm of your breathing. This phenomenon, known as mirroring in psychology, indicates a strong neural and emotional connection. If you change your posture and she immediately does the same, or she adopts similar expressions and gestures during the conversation, she's literally synchronizing with you on a deep neurological level. And then there's physical touch, perhaps the most powerful indicator of all. An attracted woman will find reasons to establish physical contact, even if it's superficial or seemingly accidental. She might touch your arm when laughing at a joke, adjust your tie or collar, remove an imaginary strand of hair from your shoulder, or allow your knees to accidentally touch under the table. These touches, however light they may be, are rarely accidental. They represent a deliberate attempt to break the barrier of personal space and establish a physical connection. How she reacts when you reciprocate these touches is also revealing. If she leans in closer or responds with a smile instead of pulling away, you have a strong indicator that her feelings are reciprocated. Physical proximity is another infallible thermometer. An interested woman will gradually reduce the distance between you during a conversation. This movement toward you usually happens so subtly that it goes unnoticed. If you notice she's consistently closer by the end of conversations than she was at the beginning, It's not a coincidence. Her subconscious is literally drawing her toward you. Her posture can also reveal a lot about her feelings. When a woman is attracted, she tends to adopt a more open posture, with fewer physical barriers between you. She will avoid crossing her arms, position objects like her bag or phone away from you, and keep her hands visible, all to appear more approachable and receptive. Also, observe how she reacts to your casual touch. If you lightly touch her arm during a conversation and she remains relaxed or even leans in more, she's sending clear signals of comfort and interest. On the other hand, tension or pulling away would indicate the opposite. This touch reaction test is one of the most reliable for assessing mutual interest. A particularly revealing indicator is how she positions herself in social settings. An attracted woman will consistently find ways to be near you, even in situations where there are many other interaction options. If at a party or event she continues to gravitate toward your circle, even after conversations with others, she's showing a clear preference for your company. How she behaves when she's near you is also telling. Preening gestures, like adjusting her clothes, straightening her posture, or fixing her hair when she sees you approaching, indicate she cares about the impression she makes on you. These fixing behaviors are instinctive and show a desire to present her best self to attract your attention. In social groups, pay special attention to who she seeks with her gaze after funny or significant moments. When something amusing happens and she immediately looks at you to share that moment, she's revealing that your opinion and reaction matter more to her than those of others present. This behavior, known as reaction checking, is a strong indicator of emotional connection and romantic interest. How she talks about you to others also says a lot. If your mutual friends mention that she frequently talks about you or asks questions about you when you're not around, it's an unmistakable sign that you occupy her thoughts even in your absence. Few things reveal more about someone's true feelings than what they choose to say when the object of their affection isn't present. In today's world, it's impossible to discuss signs of attraction without considering online behavior. In an increasingly digital world, virtual interactions have become an important stage for expressing romantic interest. A truly attracted woman will show consistency between her in-person and digital behaviors. One of the most reliable indicators is the speed and enthusiasm with which she responds to your messages. When someone is romantically interested, they usually prioritize communication with that person. If she responds to your messages quickly, even at inconvenient times, and with elaborate texts instead of short replies, she's demonstrating that you're a priority in her digital life. Another revealing sign is the initiative in communication. If she frequently starts conversations, sends links to things that remind her of you, or shares details of her day without you asking, she's actively seeking to maintain a connection. This is particularly significant if it happens during times when there's no practical need for communication, such as weekends or holidays. The use of emojis and expressive language can also be quite telling. Studies show that we use more emojis and emotional expressions when communicating with people we have a romantic interest in. If she enriches her messages with emojis, laughter, haha, lol, or expressive punctuation, she's adding an emotional layer to the communication that goes beyond the purely informative. Her activity on your social media also deserves attention. An attracted woman will typically be one of the first people to view your stories, like your posts, or leave comments. This consistent presence in your digital universe is a modern extension of the orbit behavior that people in love have, always demonstrated, finding ways to stay on the radar of the object of their affection. Particularly revealing is the type of content she shares with you. If she sends romantic songs saying she thought of you, photos of places she'd like to visit someday, implicitly with you, or constantly mentions future experiences you could share, she's essentially creating an imaginary future where you're together. Consistency is another fundamental aspect for distinguishing genuine attraction from simple friendship or politeness. One or two of the mentioned signs may occur occasionally without romantic meaning, but when you observe several of them happening consistently and increasingly over time, the message becomes much clearer. True attraction doesn't fluctuate drastically without reason. If she shows intense interest one day and complete indifference the next, without any significant change in your dynamic, she's likely dealing with someone emotionally unstable or just being polite instead of genuinely interested. Real attraction tends to intensify or diminish gradually, not change radically overnight. Another aspect of consistency is the congruence between different communication channels. A truly attracted woman will show compatible signs both in person and digitally, both verbally and physically. Significant inconsistencies between these different channels usually indicate that something isn't genuine. It's also important to consider the context of the interaction and the individual personality of each woman. Some are naturally more expressive and tactile, while others are more reserved, even when deeply interested. Knowing her baseline behavior with others helps identify when she is truly showing special interest in you. For example, if she's generally affectionate and smiling with everyone, these behaviors alone don't indicate special attraction. You'll need to observe if there's an intensification of these traits when she's with you, or if she demonstrates other, more specific signs. On the other hand, if she's typically reserved, even small displays of emotional openness can be extremely significant. One of the most revealing contexts is how she behaves when you're alone versus in a group. Some women, especially the shy or discreet ones, hold back their displays of interest in social settings, but completely transform when they have the opportunity to be alone with you. This change in behavior between public and private is a strong indicator of romantic attraction. How she reacts to moments of vulnerability also reveals a lot about her feelings. If you share insecurities or failures and she responds with genuine empathy and support, instead of disinterest or judgment, she's demonstrating a level of emotional connection that typically accompanies romantic attraction. The ability to accept someone with their imperfections is a crucial component of authentic love. A frequently overlooked but extremely revealing aspect is how she manages her time when it comes to you. A truly interested woman will make adjustments to her schedule to create opportunities to be with you. If she consistently finds ways to extend your outings, suggests future activities, or shows unusual flexibility to accommodate your availability, she's communicating through actions that you're a priority in her life. The amount of information she shares with you is also a reliable thermometer. The more a person is attracted, the more they tend to open up and reveal deep aspects of themselves. If she shares dreams, fears, hopes, and formative experiences that she doesn't widely disclose, she's demonstrating a special trust that typically accompanies romantic attraction. Equally significant is her interest in knowing deeper aspects of your life. An attracted woman isn't satisfied with superficial information about you. She wants to understand your motivations, values, and experiences that have shaped you. If she asks questions that show a genuine desire to know your inner world, she's indicating an interest that goes beyond the casual. Her memory for details about you is also extremely revealing. When we're attracted to someone, we naturally pay more attention and retain more information about that person. If she remembers specific details from previous conversations, personal preferences you mentioned casually, or significant dates for you, she's demonstrating a level of attention that we rarely dedicate to people we're not particularly interested in. Jealousy, when subtle and non-possessive, is another powerful indicator of attraction. Small displays of discomfort when other women show interest in you, or particular curiosity about your interactions with potential rivals, suggest a desire for exclusivity that characterizes romantic interest. This behavior only emerges when there's significant emotional investment. How she manages conflicts with you also reveals a lot about her feelings. An attracted woman will generally show more patience, understanding, and willingness to compromise in disagreements with you than she would with others. This differentiated treatment arises from a subconscious desire to preserve and strengthen the connection, even in the face of obstacles. Her presence at important occasions in your life is another significant sign. If she makes a point to be present at moments like your birthday, a professional or personal achievement, or during difficult times, demonstrating genuine support, she's communicating that your well-being and experiences matter deeply to her. The level of vulnerability she shows around you is also revealing. Allowing herself to be seen without makeup, sharing personal insecurities, or showing emotional exposure are forms of intimacy that we rarely offer to people we don't feel a special connection with. This openness to vulnerability is a strong indicator of trust and attraction. How she talks about the future can contain valuable clues about her feelings. An attracted woman will often include you, even subtly, in her plans and visions for the future. Phrases like, "We need to try that restaurant someday," or references to future events assuming your presence are indirect ways of communicating that she sees you as part of her long-term life. Now, having explored the multiple signs that indicate female attraction, the crucial question arises: how to appropriately respond to these signals? Identification is just the first step. Knowing how to act upon this knowledge is equally important to transform mutual attraction into a meaningful connection. The first and most fundamental rule is respect the natural pace of the approach. As tempting as it may be to speed up the process when you notice clear signs of interest, authentic relationships develop organically, with each person feeling comfortable with the progression of intimacy. Forcing a faster pace than she's prepared for can cause her to retreat, even when the attraction is genuine. When identifying several of the mentioned signs, respond with calibrated reciprocity. This means showing interest in return, but at a slightly more contained level than hers, especially in the initial stages. This approach creates a safe space for her to continue expressing her interest without feeling overly exposed or vulnerable. Nonverbal communication plays a crucial role in this reciprocity. Maintain consistent eye contact, adopt an open and relaxed posture, and don't hesitate to establish brief, appropriate physical contacts, such as lightly touching her arm during an animated conversation. These subtle displays communicate that you are receptive to her approaches. Simultaneously, develop the art of creating opportunities for deeper interactions. If she consistently shows the discussed signs, take the initiative to suggest activities that allow for a more meaningful connection. Instead of noisy group environments, opt for situations that facilitate genuine conversations and mutual discoveries. An often underestimated but extremely powerful element is demonstrating genuine interest in the complete person she is, not just superficial or physical aspects. Ask questions that show curiosity about her values, experiences, and perspectives. This type of attention communicates that you value her as a whole, not just as an object of attraction. The timing of your more explicit initiatives is crucial. Observe the consistency and intensity of the signs before taking more decisive steps. A single sign or inconsistent signs do not justify a direct approach. However, when multiple indicators manifest consistently and increasingly over time, you're in much safer ground to express your feelings more openly. When you decide to be more explicit about your interest, do so in a way that preserves both of your dignities. Respectful and contextual approaches are far more likely to succeed than dramatic declarations or emotional pressure. A simple and direct expression, at an appropriate moment of privacy and connection, is usually the most effective. Remember that authentic attraction is fundamentally reciprocal. If you're consistently seeking signs and forcing interpretations of ambiguous behaviors, you're likely projecting your own desires instead of recognizing genuine interest. True attraction rarely leaves you in doubt for long. It manifests in multiple dimensions and increasingly over time. A crucial aspect, often overlooked by men, is the importance of strategic patience. Sometimes the most powerful timing isn't the fastest, but the most appropriate. Allowing the romantic tension to develop naturally without rushing it can significantly intensify attraction and create a more solid foundation for a lasting connection. The ability to correctly read attraction signs serves not only to identify romantic opportunities, but also to avoid investing emotionally in one-sided situations. This skill protects you from unnecessary rejections and guides you toward connections with true potential, saving time, emotional energy, and preserving your self-esteem. Developing this sensitivity to female attraction signs is part of a broader social intelligence that benefits all aspects of your life. The same observation, empathy, and nonverbal communication skills that help you identify romantic interest also make you more effective in professional, social, and family contexts. The journey to mastering the art of recognizing and responding to female attraction is ongoing, requiring constant practice, reflection, and adaptation. Every woman is unique, with her own way of expressing interest, influenced by her personality, past experiences, and cultural context. This diversity makes human connection a fascinating and ever-new territory to explore. By developing this sensitivity to attraction signs, you're not only increasing your chances of romantic success, but also cultivating a deeper understanding of human psychology and interpersonal dynamics. This knowledge transcends the romantic context, enriching all your relationships and interactions. The true power of this understanding lies in the authentic confidence it generates, not superficial confidence based on manipulative techniques, but the kind that arises from genuine competence and self-awareness. When you know how to accurately read social signals, you navigate the world of relationships with a natural confidence that is, in itself, deeply attractive. This confidence manifests in the ability to remain present and attentive during interactions, without the anxiety and doubts that often sabotage connection opportunities. You become capable of appreciating the moment, responding authentically to what's happening, and making decisions based on accurate perceptions rather than fears or fantasies. The ability to recognize female interest also frees you from the need to constantly seek validation or chase uninterested women. This energetic and emotional freedom creates a virtuous circle. As the less you depend on external approval, the more naturally attractive you become, attracting even more genuine interest. Ultimately, understanding the signs of female attraction isn't just a tool for finding a relationship, but an essential component of a rich and fulfilling social life. It allows you to recognize and honor genuine interest when it arises, responding in ways that cultivate deep and meaningful connections. This sensitivity to the unspoken, to the subtle expressions of interest and affection, is a form of social wisdom that is rarely formally taught, but can be learned through attentive observation and conscious practice. By developing this skill, you not only enhance your romantic life, but also enrich your entire experience of human connection. Remember that the ultimate goal isn't just to identify attraction, but to cultivate authentic and mutually satisfying relationships. The discussed signs are just the beginning of a potentially profound journey of mutual discovery and shared growth. They open the door, but it's what you build through that door that truly matters. The next time you're interacting with a T-Sashi woman and notice several of these signs consistently manifesting, recognize the gift being offered, the opportunity for a meaningful connection. Approach this opportunity with respect, authenticity, and genuine curiosity, knowing that you're equipped to navigate this territory with confidence and competence. And always remember, behind all these signs and behaviors is a complete person, with her own dreams, fears, hopes, and complexities. True mastery lies not just in recognizing attraction, but in honoring the full humanity of the person expressing interest in you. This approach not only increases your chances of romantic success, but also deeply enriches the quality of the connections you form. Developing this sensitivity and respect will transform your love life, replacing confusion and uncertainty with clarity and confidence. You'll stop wasting energy on one-sided situations and quickly recognize genuine opportunities when they arise. This emotional efficiency not only spares you unnecessary suffering, but also directs your energy toward connections with real potential. The ability to correctly read attraction signs is a social superpower that few men fully develop. By mastering this art, you stand out in the relationship universe, not through manipulative techniques, but through the genuine ability to recognize, appreciate, and appropriately respond to female interest.